What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the potential chance of us getting the Halloween Kills trailer this upcoming weekend. Now, I haven't done a Halloween Kills or any type of Halloween related content video in quite some time. But something caught my attention earlier today with some news about a watch party going on this weekend for the 2018 film. Jamie Lee Curtis, I believe, is hosting the watch party, and then joining her is going to be the director, of course, David Gordon Green. Then you have Jason Blum, I believe Judy Greer is going to be there, John Carpenter. They're all going to be there, and hopefully some other people as well during this watch party that they're having for the 2018 film over the weekend on May 16th. A lot of people are speculating that this could be when they're going to debut the trailer. I know Ryan Turek recently, over the past couple of weeks, has been responding to a lot of fans on Twitter stating that they aren't going the same route that they took with the 2018 film as far as marketing is concerned, because I believe we didn't get the Halloween Kills trailer until, not the Halloween Kills, but the Halloween 2018 trailer. I don't think we got that trailer until June sometime, like a couple of 4 months or so before the movie came out. I could see them taking that route again with this one. Maybe we'll just get it a month sooner, though. I think there's a good chance it's coming out on Saturday. I've actually had some discussions and spoken to some people, or to a person rather, actually, I will say. I've spoken to a person who had worked on Halloween Kills. He doesn't really have anything too much to say other than the fact that it's a 50-50 chance. He's trying to reach out to everyone involved in the project to see what the deal is going on. But at that point, if he does find out that a trailer's coming out, if he's able to share it, if he shares it with me, that's fine and dandy. But I don't think even if the trailer was coming out, they would tell him, because if he doesn't know right now, I don't think they would tell him. But I honestly think we will. There's a good chance we are going to see a trailer on Saturday during this watch party. Not even during, but after the watch party. I feel like that's a perfect time to debut a trailer. The only thing that makes me doubtful is that it is on a Saturday. It's going to be on a Saturday night. Depending on what I could see is maybe we don't get the trailer, but we get an announcement that the trailer's coming next week sometime, or in a few coming days, and then we just kind of they just use this watch party to build hype towards the trailer's release. I think that's more likely than them just dropping the trailer immediately after a watch party on a Saturday night onto the internet. Although I think that would break the internet. I think it would be the #1 trend. I think that would be just an unexpected thing for them to release after this watch party, with all the cast members being there and everything. I know a lot of people are also looking forward to Halloween Kills. I myself am looking forward to seeing if the movie still is going to maintain its October release date due to everything going on in the country and around the world. I'm willing to bet that it's going to stay there. I don't think it's going to get moved. If I'm a betting man, and if I want to just stay positive for a second, I'm willing to bet that this whole thing with what's going on and affecting our country, not that it's going to die down. Actually, around that time, that's when they're expecting things to pick back up the way they were when it first started. But I expect that just by then, everything will be back to somewhat, not normal, but the restrictions and everything will be in place for theaters to be functioning. The capacity for theaters might be limited, but honestly, at the end of the day, I think a lot of movies are just gonna be released, because I know a lot of us are just ready to go back to the theater. We're ready to see these movies that have been delayed because of what's going on in our country. And I know Halloween Kills is like the #1 movie people are looking forward to this fall for us horror fans and us horror geeks. We're all looking forward to Halloween Kills. This is our Avengers Endgame of the year when it comes to horror. Last year was It Chapter 2. The year before that, it was the Halloween 2018 film. So hopefully nothing happens there that leads to the film actually being pushed back. If it does, of course, I expect it to be getting pushed to October of next year, and then Halloween Ends being pushed to October 2022 at that point. But I know that's going to be very disappointing for a lot of us and just upsetting, because we want to see this movie in theaters. Now, what do I think is going to happen in Halloween Kills? I think with Halloween Kills, we're going to see a variety of different things. I think we're going to see Jamie Lee Curtis's character come back in a very strong way, and I think that we're going to see Judy Greer's character stand out in a new way. I think Andy Matichak is going to be taking over as the new Laurie in the series. What I want to also say is that I can see Andy Matichak's character, because I believe she plays Laurie Strode's granddaughter. I could see the granddaughter becoming like the new Laurie. And I don't think Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis is gonna die once again, but I could just see them using Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends to mold the characters of I can't think of the character's name. Andy Matichak's character, Laurie's granddaughter, and then Laurie's daughter, who I know her name is Karen. And I think the granddaughter's name is Allison. I think Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends are going to mold the characters of Karen and Allison for them to kind of just be like the next two Strode warriors right here alongside Laurie Strode, while Laurie Strode's character, maybe she sits out after some severe injuries that she sustains, and maybe in the end it'll come down to one final standoff and one final showdown with the character of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, and we can see those two go out in the blaze of glory. Honestly, how I would have this end, because I know that they're planning to shoot Halloween Ends hopefully no later than the beginning of next year, early next year sometime, so that it can make its release date if it's not moved. But I would like to see this movie end with both Laurie and Michael Myers dying, just because of the simple fact that I know that with Halloween Ends, they're wanting this to be the final chapter in this new iteration of the series. But then, of course, they've already spoken about down the line that they know somebody's just going to revisit this at some point, because the Halloween series is a well-recognized brand. Michael Myers is just a character who is going to be embedded in the pop culture until the end of time. How many times do I think this movie can be remade before it becomes annoying? I honestly don't think Halloween has that much of that. The series itself, the thing about characters like these, like Michael Myers, Dave McCrae said it best. Characters such as this, they have a shelf life. And when you're trying to prolong and just keep everything going and going and going and going and going, the novelty is going to wear off. Similar to how, let's say, the Scream series was just something that went on and on and on. And when I say going on and on, without these breaks that we've had in between, because now we're at a point where we've had 2 10-year gaps almost in between the last 2 sequels. So while it's not as repetitive as the Halloween films, because the Halloween films, when they were like really at their prime, they were releasing those movies like every other year or so. And then they took a mild break after the Resurrection film came back in 2007, and then after that another one in 2009, and then they took another break and they came back, and now we're here doing it again after such a long time. We have 3 new movies that we're going to be getting: the 2018 film Halloween Kills this year, and then Halloween Ends next year. There's only so much you can do with that, because when you're constantly making sequel after sequel after sequel, you have to understand at some point that you're not going to be getting the same response from your audience, because what's going to happen is your audience is going to sit down and think, hey, why can't you come up with something that's going to be new and inventive? Doing sequel after sequel after sequel, that's fun to the people who don't care about quality over quantity. But for someone like me, and I know several other viewers of this series who want to maintain the integrity of the character of Michael Myers and the prestige and just the overall original intent and vision for what John Carpenter had in mind for the character back when that original film came out in 1978. Running this series into the ground with all these sequels is not something that I believe is going to be something that's just going to always be accepted. I could see nothing being done with the property for another 20 years after this. And then when we hear an announcement that a new Halloween film is going to be coming out, I feel like at that point, hopefully we've developed new horror icons. We've just moved beyond Michael Myers, the Jasons, the Freddys, and we're at a point now where that's not going to be acceptable. Maybe we'll get to the point where, if that were to become the case and they decide they want to remake and redo another Michael Myers movie down the road, it's not going to be received well from the general public, because at that point everybody's going to have moved on to these new horror icons. Now, no new icons really have been made. All of this stuff is just being prolonged and they're going back to the same old tricks, and I can understand it to some degree. But yeah, I hope with Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends that they go in and they just do the character justice and put this to bed. And I don't want any other person to come back and touch this property. I don't want any more Halloween films after this, because I want this series to remain. It's not even, some would argue that it's even gone beyond the point of being repaired, but let this iteration, because Halloween 2018 was a very well made movie. Let Halloween